Hello, everybody, and welcome to our channel. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
Today, we're going to give out the Caitlin Clark WNBA Turkey Awards. So, hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. Hit the notification bell when you do, so you get notified of our next video and make Rob happy. Mm-hmm. So, Rob, there's no reason for this to be late other than the fact that I never thought about it until this morning. So, these are the Thanksgiving Turkey Awards, and they all have to do with Caitlin Clark in the WNBA, except for our first award, which is Honorable Mention Award, which I'm going to give out with my pleasure to Rob for predicting right before the playoffs started that the New York Knicks were going to win the NBA championship. So, Rob, do you have an acceptance speech for this award?
Yes, I'd like to thank you for the honorable mention. And I still think the Knicks are going to win. You don't even know, man. We got a team now. Let's go. Go, New York. Go, New York. Go.
They're going to win this year, Rob?
That's right.
They're going to beat Boston and Cleveland. All right. Coming out of the East. All right. So Rob's predicting them again. He didn't learn his lesson from last year, but we'll see what happens. It's early. It's early. That had to be honorable mention because that had nothing to do with the WNBA. Although it should. Maybe it should. maybe Caitlin Clark should play in the NBA. Or the WNBA or the NBA should be running the WNBA more. Anyway, so these awards, the Turkey Awards, I think pretty self-explanatory. So number 20, Rob, goes out to the ESPN staff.
Oh, perfect.
All the ESPN staff who have downplayed Caitlin Clark's contributions and abilities throughout the entire year. We could mention them all. We don't need to. They're basically all black females who have this tribalism towards the black women in the WNBA. And so that's really the reason. That's all that's going on here. I consider it racist also, but I'm using tribalism to be nice. And that's the first award. That goes at number 20. Number 19, Rob, goes to the U.S. Olympic Committee and Cheryl Reeve for keeping Caitlin Clark off the team. There's other people involved. I think Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Taurasi. But those are the main culprits that kept her off the team. As you can see, it was a disaster marketing-wise, and it was almost a disaster in the gold medal game where they won by 1 point. Anytime you want to do an acceptance speech for any of these people, Rob, let me know.
Well, her acceptance speech would be like, I don't give a beep about what this award is. You can take this beep award. You know, we're still a great team. We're going to win next year. So beep you, okay?
Yeah, everybody else is fighting for second place, according to the commercial I saw.
Yeah.
So anyways, the next award goes to Brianna Stewart, who's obviously jealous of Caitlin Clark and refused to give her flowers. When she was asked, could Caitlin Clark be great? Not one of the greatest, not one of the GOATs, not the GOAT, but just great if she doesn't win a championship. And she goes, oh, yeah, she has to be. And she, chimed in with all the other UConn people. Of course, she went to UConn and played with 12 players that made it in the WNBA, stacked teams, and that's why she won championships. It's basically, a WNBA team playing against a bunch of college women. Anyway, that's Brianna Stewart, and she said other little snide comments about Caitlin Clark, too. The next award goes to Lynn. Go ahead, Rob.
Her acceptance speech would be, I don't care. I got this league going up with 3-on-3, and we're going to show you that, we're great women players, and our 3-on-3 league is going to be the best. So who cares?
Okay, we'll see what the ratings are without Caitlin Clark. The next award goes to Lynn Dunn, who is the only person on the planet who thought that Christy Sides was an excellent coach and was going to lead him to a championship in a year or two. And that's all I need to say about Lynn Dunn. It was time to push her out in the pasture, and guess what, Rob? They did.
And her acceptance speech would be, well, I still think that Sides is a good coach.
Okay. All right.
That's it.
All right. Well, Alzheimer's kicks in early sometimes, Rob. So
with a little twitch. Sorry, with a little twitch to
it. Next award goes to Terry Jackson, who's the WNBA executive director, and she decided that Christine Brennan needs to lose her credentials for media because she asked a legitimate question to DJ and Carrington after she did eye poke for Caitlin Clark. And she also gave the commissioner a hard time when she answered a question that she didn't like the answer to. And Rob, this woman sticks up for everybody except for Caitlin Clark, apparently. So anyway, that's Terry Jackson.
Her acceptance speech would be, well, I still support our players, the 103 players in the NBA, except for that white girl.
And you're not concerned about the abuse that she got, and the refs didn't give her any calls, and that she got
What
a lot of calls. That didn't concern you?
No, what abuse are you talking about? I don't see no damn abuse.
Okay.
I think you should be canceled. You know, I'm gonna put a thing against you. What's your station?
How's your eyesight? Okay, so the next award goes to Nike, who is not going to release Caitlin Clark's shoe until 2026 or 2027, which we're going to cover in another video. There's no explanation for it, no good one, but so we'll give them an award just because they have no good explanation and because they're clueless and they're losing a lot of money.
And they'll say, well, you know, Mark, remember the story, the turtle and the hare, slow and steady wins the race.
All right. That's only if the hare falls asleep, Rob. The audience isn't falling asleep for Caitlin Clark. The next award goes to Jay Williams, ESPN commentator, when he would ask, they were talking about Caitlin Clark being great, not the greatest, just great. And he said, in order to be great, she has to win a chip. And of course, if you don't know, Jay Williams won a chip with Duke on a fairly stacked team. And he was also player of the year. So basically he was saying, hey, she's not great like me because she didn't win both. And that started all this talk about Caitlin Clark can't be a GOAT because she didn't win a championship. And then everybody jumped in on that. And everybody else, actually, a lot of people criticized Jay Williams for that. And it was a stupid take because the conversation wasn't about her being the GOAT, but just being great in general. So it was the dumbest take in sports history, I thought. So that was Jay Williams. The next take was Diana.
His acceptance speech would be, she could be great. I don't know, as long as she stays off motorcycles.
If you don't know, Jay Williams ended his career with a motorcycle crash. Silly him. Diana Taurasi is our next winner, Rob, at number 13. She said reality was coming, and she said for some players it's going to take longer than others. And guess what, Rob? Reality came for Diana Taurasi. She got outplayed by Caitlin Clark in all the games. Like, she didn't play in one of them. And her team beat Diana Taurasi team all 3 times. And also in the All-Star game, her team beat Diana Taurasi's All-Stars. So we give that to Diana Taurasi for not knowing what reality is and for getting old right before our eyes.
And her acceptance speech is going to be, well, Mark, I really don't care. I got that 6 gold medals, so what? Okay.
Well, you ensured the fact that Caitlin Clark couldn't get 6, which is the reason you did in the first place.
Yeah, so
our next award goes to Natalie Esquire, the #1 Caitlin Clark podcast hater, and all the other podcasters, because we don't have room to list them all, and all the other people that make comments under the podcast that all said Caitlin Clark was going to be basically average. There's a lot worse comments than that, but Natalie Esquire was even worse than that. She said that when Caitlin Clark got hip checked to the ground and blindsided by Kennedy Carter, that she was flopping. So you can just see how dishonest she is and how she's not even dealing with reality. So that's Natalie Esquire. And so she's considered the #1 hater, kind of.
Well,
the next award.
Her acceptance speech was going to be, Mark, I'm so glad I still stick with that because I believe the referees in the WNBA are honest and they know what they're doing.
We'll get to those, Rob. The next award goes to Phil Cook, the WNBA chief marketing officer, who said, I didn't know Caitlin Clark was going to be popular, so I didn't really know enough to market her. He said that halfway through the season, Rob, and despite the fact that she was selling out all over the place in college and had the biggest following in sports probably at that point, and also was selling her jerseys were selling like crazy.
And his acceptance speech would be, well, I didn't really know Caitlin Clark.
That's a good invitation, Rob. Christy Sides was the next winner, and we're going to give her credit for not knowing how to call a timeout, not knowing who her best players were, not how to do a rotation, not how to draw up a play at the end of the game, not knowing how to draw up an offense, half-court offense or even defense or even how to stop the three-point shot, Rob. We're going to give credit for not and throwing the players underneath the bus all the time.
How about just getting to the point, Mark? She didn't know how to coach.
And she's not a coach. So
her acceptance speech is going to be, gotta have the glasses on top of the head,
Well, there's
I
two.
tried as hard as I could. I think I did a good job. Caitlin turned out to be a great player under me, so I think I did a good job.
That was 10A. This is 10B because there wasn't room for it. Teresa Weatherspoon also for being a horrible coach. Rob's least favorite coach in the league. And what's your acceptance speech for her, Rob?
I was right.
You were right. You were right to encourage thuggery, Rob. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Our next award goes to DJ Carrington, who made fun of Clark for a foul that she didn't embellish, but it was a regular foul, and she made fun of her. And then for eye poking Caitlin Clark in the eye, most likely on purpose, but not for sure on purpose. And then also saying about Caitlin Clark, what does she bring to the table besides threes, even though she's led the league in assists? That's DJ Carrington. So,
Mark, I'm just sharpening up for next year. So all you guys just be ready. Be ready for me. These are all nice and.
Are they gonna be longer next year, Rob? So you can eye gouge her from when you're not even covering her?
I'm gonna get one of those curly fingernails. They curl around, so it'll be really good. Digging good.
All right, that's good, Rob. You might want to clip them if you want to type. Okay.
Oh no.
If you want to get on the internet and get on social media, I don't know how you're going to type, Rob. But anyways, the next award goes to all the refs in the WNBA, or at least 90% of them, who suck, and we're also biased against Caitlin Clark. So we're going to give them an award for being incompetent and for being assholes, caving into the pressure from the WNBA women who didn't want to give Caitlin Clark a fair shake and didn't want to, make sure that she didn't look good.
Well, Mark, as a representative for the referees, we just wanted to say we were just following through what management and the WNBA wanted us to do. Though the calls were in front of us, we had an agenda. We had to follow what we had to do. So I feel that we followed through what they wanted us to do. So I think we did a good job.
All right, it makes sense to me. Our next award goes to Kennedy Carter, who has the best hip check in NHL history. WNBA history.
Oh yeah, right.
And also, she clocked Marina Mabry really well too. So she gets an award for thuggery, Rob. So she gets the Turkey Award for that.
Well, Mark, that's what I do. You mess with me, I mess with you. Don't come in my face. You got something wrong with that? I come over to you. You got a problem? Where you live at? Where you at?
Where's your English at? Where's your grammar at?
Where's my English at? That's where it's at.
Our next award goes to all the WNBA players that weren't on the Indiana Fever, except for a couple, who decided that Caitlin Clark needed to be double teamed and triple teamed and blitz more than any player in the WNBA history, even though she was overrated and wasn't very good. So we're going to give that award for them and for treating her like crap and just being jealous and envious of her because she's white and successful and straight and got a lot of money and got a lot of attention. So we give them to all the WNBA players.
Well, I can speak for all. I'm A.J. Wilson, and I can speak for all the WNBA players. She thinks she's something. Make me sick. Think she come up in here in this league. Think she can play ball. I'm the best. All the other players know I'm the best. So here she come up in the league like she thinks she know how to play. Well, we showed her. She ain't no good. Oh,
really?
The leg.
Fourth in the MVP voting as a rookie's no good.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, I'm one. I was number one. Did I not win the award? Yeah. So,
The next award goes to Asia Wilson, the one who did win the MVP award. And we want to give her extra credit for winning the MVP award after game 2. So Asia Wilson, who decided that Caitlin Clark was only popular because she was white, decided that Kelsey Plum and Paige Beckers knew her place as a white people, and they knew their white privilege and understood it, and that's good. And all the other poor interviews that she did.
Well, Mark, yeah, they gotta know their place. Those I'll be politically correct. Those Caucasian girls, have to know their place. So and yeah, of course it was in the bag. I knew at the beginning of the season I was going to win. Though I tried a little bit, I didn't have to try to. I knew I was. I knew I was going to win.
Did you know you were going to get all the calls from the refs too?
Yeah, of course. Mark, don't you know how this WNBA runs? What you just fall off a tournament truck or something?
Okay, well that was actually number 5. So the next award goes to Angel Reese for being the world's biggest narcissist and also the biggest victim in the history of sports. Which every time she has a press conference, that's how she is. And, for sexualizing herself and then blaming other people for sexualizing her. That's our award to Angel Reese. And also, it wasn't her fault she was overrated, so I'm not going to blame her on that. But that's it. Anyways, Rob, that's our award to Angel Reese. You want to do an acceptance speech for her, too?
Yeah, well, Mark, I just feel like, sometimes y'all be dissing me, and I just look at the rebounds I got. I shoot 2 or 3 times, so that gets me rebounds. So of course I'm gonna get the record. So what's wrong with that, y'all? Y'all just
2 or 3 times of your own shot, Rob.
Yeah, that's what works. Yeah,
you're a dog, and you can't teach that, Rob.
You just don't understand. You don't understand the game, Mark. You just don't understand the game. But you're against me. I know because I'm black. I know you're against me.
So you're saying you miss on purpose? Is that what you're saying? You missed the layups on purpose?
Yeah, of course.
I believe that. There has to be an explanation for how she missed.
Why should I work on the game?
Easy
look at the rebounds. Shoot.
All right. Next award goes to Kathy Engelbrain or Engelbert for not having any clue as to the popularity of Caitlin Clark and trying to hold her down and then giving everyone else credit. And she did so many things in interviews, Rob, that was just so stupid. And she always got to bring in, other rookies and not realizing Caitlin Clark is the key to the success of the WNBA. That's the number one thing that she did wrong, Rob. So we give her this big award, and she's at number 3. And you want to do a seconds for her, Rob?
Well, Mark, there are other players in the league, so we can't just focus in on just one player.
She might get injured.
Well, we can't focus in on one player. The black players might get upset, so we can't really,
What about the lesbian players?
Well, they run the league, Mark. So I have to follow what they do. So we can't involve Caitlin Clark because she's straight. She's straight. And then, we can't do that.
So you want everybody, all 144 players, to get the same amount of attention?
143, because Clark's not included. So
Clark's going to get less attention than the other 143. Okay. Yeah. That's what the NBA does. They don't give any more extra attention to LeBron and Steph Curry. Everyone gets the same amount of attention.
That is correct, Mark. That is correct.
Okay, if you say so. And number 2, we have Cheryl Swoops, the hater and racist. And Rob, she started out by saying Caitlin Clark, when she was going for the scoring record, a bunch of factual things that were incorrect. She got blasted. Then she said black people can't be racist. Then she downplayed Caitlin Clark's contribution to the league, and she downplayed Caitlin Clark's contribution to the Indiana Fever, and, wants Angel Reese to be Rookie of the Year, would have voted for her. She's just an all-in-all hater, Rob. So you want to accept for her?
Yes. Now, some people try to think that something's wrong with me, but I thought that, Caitlin Clark was just she's overrated. And she ain't that good. She ain't that good. Angel Reese is much better, and I don't think she really did anything for her team that much. It was the coach who helped her help the team win, and the Mitchell girl. She was the shooter for the team. That white girl, she didn't do nothing for the team. So I don't know why they think that she's like so good.
She bench drop. Maybe she shouldn't start then.
Oh, obviously, yeah, definitely. I mean, how could she be even a starter? She's white. White people can't play. I
didn't know that. They can't. Yeah, they're racist, but black people can't be racist.
Oh, we're not racist. I'm just telling. I'm just fact. What's it say in the Sprite? That's the fact, Jack.
Okay. Have you ever seen a therapist?
What's that?
Something you need. Okay. So the number 1 award And first place goes to Gino Ariema.
Yeah.
Who should have known better. Of all the people, he should have had the best take, and he had the worst take, which is why he wins the first award. As we know, he said that she had the wrong skill set, wasn't fast enough, and she's on the wrong team. And lo and behold, Rob, none of that came true. And he also said that the fans of Caitlin Clark are stupid and don't know what they're talking about because they wanted to vote for her for MVP, and that the Las Vegas didn't know what they were talking about because she was third or fourth in the MVP odds. And guess what, Rob? She came in fourth. So Gino's take wasn't very good. And it was probably the worst take of a knowledgeable person in sports history. In all seriousness, I can't. I mean, he knows more about women's basketball than probably anybody alive right now. And he had the worst take anybody could have about Caitlin Clark. Because why? Because she didn't go to UConn. We all know the reason why. Rob, do you have an Italian accent?
No, I don't. Well, here's what I think, Mark. That, I'm not just eating the crow now. I'm eating the turkey because I really kind of messed up with what I thought I should. So you're right. I deserve this turkey award. I am eating turkey. I was first eating crow because I was wrong. Now I have to eat the bigger bird, the turkey. So now I'm eating turkey. So I'm glad I'm number one, which I'm always number one because I'm the number one coach and my team's number one. So this is very deserved award. So I don't care.
Your team's actually number two right now, just so you know. UCLA is number one.
Oh, no, I did it again? Oh.
But they could win the championship this year. Who knows?
Yeah, but we could win the championship.
In 2016, you haven't won it in 8 years.
It's still early, Mark.
You also said that this isn't even one of the best drafts in the last decade, when it turned out to be the best draft of the last decade. We have a person who is one of the top 3 rookies of all time who led the league in assists. We have a person who led the league in rebounds. We have a person who was leading the league in blocks until she got injured. Then we got an up-and-coming Rickea Jackson who played really well. And Camila Cardozo played really well, too. It would have had a better year if she wasn't helped by her coach.
Mark.
Everybody but a UConn player contributed.
Mark, that's what I was going to tell you. Mark, did any of them come from UConn? So how could this be?
None of those 5 went to UConn, Rob.
Well, okay, what do you think?
Well, it couldn't have been a good draft because it wasn't the top UConn players. Is that right?
That's right. That's what I'm saying. How can I be wrong? I mean, everything out of UConn is gold.
Okay. All right. Well, that's your take.
Oh, also, I think we should share the number one with who else? ESPN. Yes, ESPN again.
We'll give ESPN award a second time for all their award takes on Caitlin Clark.
We'll give them number one again.
She was the 6th best rookie about a third of the way into the season, and she wasn't the best rookie, highest rated rookie until like right at the end of the season, where they magically switched it around because everybody knew she was going to win the award.
The writers and the announcers for the ESPN.
And she didn't deserve to be in the Olympic team, Rob, because the Olympic team was going to lose if she was on the team.
Right. So she would lose.
And that take, she wasn't good enough.
And Monica McNutt says that, that the reason why that she shouldn't win the Rookie of the Year is because she goes by the wins. And
McNutt, McCrazy. Yeah. So at the end of the year, I think the Fever had more wins than Chicago.
Yeah, I think the Fever had more wins.
I didn't see her come out at the end of the year and say that she should win for that reason, because she realized how dumb her take was. But anyways, those are the awards for Turkey Day. And we probably left out some people. Like, in fact, when I made this list, I realized I left out Teresa Witherspoon, and I had to add her on to Christy Sides as
can't forget her
head coach. And so there's lots of people we could have put in there, but those are the 20 that we chose. I think that this is a very good Thanksgiving award ceremony, Rob, because what could be better than this besides real turkey and dressing? Stuffing.
Well, I'm sure. Well, let's give thanks, Mark, that hopefully these people would have changed their minds about Caitlin Clark.
No, Rob, that won't happen.
Oh, okay. Well, that gets rid of that thing, I guess.
Unless Caitlin Clark suddenly gets no attention and no money and turns into a black lesbian and went to UConn, this will not change. This will be the same thing for the next 20 years, Rob.
I think
Nothing's
so.
changing. Nothing's changing.
Can't give thanks for that.
No. And if she turns into a black lesbian, that would be very magical. I think that's a good magic trick. So that'd be pretty cool.
But why would she want to do that?
So the WNBA players like her and treat her
Well,
fairly.
The good thing about that, Mark, she should give thanks that she doesn't have to do that because she's already a good person. The way she is, regardless of her color, she's going to be a great player. So regardless of all those people that hate her, I can give thanks that she doesn't fall into that category or fall for it, and she just keeps being herself, which is very thankful for her.
The way she handled this season, maturity-wise, was absolutely stunningly amazing. There's no way that myself or probably 99.99% of the people on this planet could have handled it as well as she did at age 22. Is really, really astounding the way she handled all these 20 haters and the millions of other haters that are kind of grouped into the podcast and people that make comments. So I think I really looked up to Caitlin Clark as a person this year, in addition to her basketball talents. And I can't wait till next year with the new coach, Stephanie White. I think you'll see a whole new Caitlin Clark, and she's going to be even more deadly next year, Rob. And so is the Fever. The Fever is going to be a dangerous team. I think they're one of the favorites to win the championship. And Caitlin Clark is the favorite to win, shouldn't get injured, to win MVP, in my opinion. Yep. And I think
so. She
has greater than 50% chance of going down as the greatest player in WNBA history, in my opinion.
Sounds like it.
That's my take on her, and I'm sticking to it. Anyways, for all you haters, stop it. Stop it. She just wants to play ball.
Enjoy the game.
And enjoy the game. All she does is compliment all of you people, and you keep hating on her. That just makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
She always takes the high road, and you still hate on her. No matter how nice she is, you hate on her. That's so illogical and so childish. I can't believe it. This is the most unprofessional, childish, poorly run league in the history of sports.
Really.
And hopefully next year it'll be a little bit better, but I doubt it will change in a significant manner.
No, I doubt it.
Let us know whether you think it'll change at all. I think it'll change a little, but what do you think it'll change at all? But I think she's going to be dealing with this her entire career. Hopefully it'll be a little bit better as people start to accept her, but I don't have a lot of hope. Let us know what you think down below. If you like this video, hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, what are you waiting for? You get great videos like this. And make Rob happy. That means you got to subscribe. Yeah. Hit that notification bell when you do. We're going for 6,000 subscribers. We've only been around since April. So if you're wondering why we only have 5,500 subscribers or so. And we're going for 10,000 too. But we got to start at 6,000. So hit that notification bell, like I said. And if you want to donate to this channel, you can with super chats and super thanks down below. There's a link to PayPal. And we have a live show every Monday, except for major holidays, 6 to 8 Eastern time. You can talk about all this great stuff. And also the NFL, college football, and the NBA. And college basketball, men's college basketball too. And we'll see you in the next video.
Peace out.